That's the scene in Chicago. That's what our guy Stanford Steve was describing. It is a sea of humanity, and a lot of joy, a lot of joy. All right, the best highlight we'll do all year. It's Game 7 of the World Series. You knew the stakes. There was so much blue in that stadium. Corey Kluber had been brilliant at home, hadn't been touched up for a run, but it's 3-1 as Javi Baez, what a postseason for this young star, into the glove of a Cub fan. And it's 4-1. Lester's out in the pen, watching it sail out. Would he be used? Well, you know by now that he would be. Kluber pulled after 4. Well, you've heard it before, hear it again. Rizzo.
It's understandably so, buddy. I hear you.
I'm an emotional wreck.
It's only going to get worse. Just continue to breathe. That's all you can do, buddy. That's all you can do. It's only going to get worse.
Glass case of emotion right now.
Yeah.
Well, it would not get worse if you could get a hit off Andrew Miller, and that's been tough to do this postseason. But Miller touched up here. Rizzo brings Bryant around to score. And he's safe at the plate, and it's 5-1 Chicago Cubs. And you're thinking, Chicago's thinking, is it finally going to happen? Meanwhile, given the lead, the ERA champ, Kyle Hendricks, 2-2 pitch to Carlos Santana. Is that strike 3? No. Very next pitch high, and Joe Maddon elects to go to Lester. And what's interesting about this, as had been discussed throughout the day, is that Maddon said, quote, I don't want to put him into a dirty inning. I don't think it would be appropriate. That means coming in with somebody on base. Lester to Kipnis, and you know that Lester can't/won't field his position, so Ross comes out, fields it, wings it over Rizzo at first. Now it's second and third. Francisco Lindor, wild pitch, and you see Ross looks stunned as it hits him square in the mask, and not one but 2 runs come in to score. So without a whole lot of loud knocks, the Indians put 2 on the board. It's 5-3. And all of a sudden, it's far more tense. This series, you knew, right? You knew this series would lead to something epic, and it certainly delivered. So Ross's catcher, Lester's catcher, Ross is in, and how about it, Grandpa? Get out! In his last game in the bigs, he hits a home run. The oldest man ever to hit a Game 7 home run. It's 6-3. Lester still in the 8th. Jose Ramirez. Addison Russell gets a glove on it, but can't get his guy. Maddon pulls Lester, and let's bring in Aroldis Chapman. So many questions about how much gas will be in his tank given the use throughout the series. Brandon Guyer up in his eyes. It's 6-4. And there are legendary moments on stages that are this big, and Rajai Davis had a spectacular at-bat. You see him choking up against one of the hardest throwers in the game. 2-2 fouls it off. Spoils a 99-mile-an-hour pitch. 2-2 fouls it off. Spoils 101. And then one more time. That's not a bad pitch, and it's a line drive. And it's gone, and the World Series is tied. In the bottom of the 8th, it's 6. They go wild in the Indians' dugout. They go wild in and around the stadium. Who got the vibe? It's the Tribe, y'all. LeBron's going nuts. The emotions of a moment this big. A night that legends are made, right? So the Cubs trying to rally. Brian Shaw, Javi Baez, Jason Hayward steals and gets to third as the Yan Gomes throw ends up in center. So Hayward's on third. Baez talking to Gary Jones. 3-2 pitch. This guy homered earlier in the game, tries to lay down the safety, and he's out. Dexter Fowler, who hit a homer in the first to lead things off. And what a play here from Lindor. On a 2-0 pitch, he's on the second base side. Man, there's so many young, talented players in this series. It's Scoreless. Madden talking to Joe West. All night long, we were concerned about the possibility that rain would come in. It did. And the Cubs huddled up, talked about who they were. Jason Hayward, you've heard the guys talk about how important he was to remind them who they were. Best team in the game, Kyle Schwarber. How about the fact that the American League wins the All-Star game, so the final game of the season is played here in Cleveland, which means Schwarber can participate in the game. He gets a knock. Albert Almora advanced to second on a fly ball from Chris Bryant, which was a great piece of base running, by the way. You walk. Rizzo to get to Zobrist. The World Series MVP serves it the other way. Almora comes around to score. The Cubs, who let the lead get away now, move back out in front, 7-6. Next batters the pinch hitter Miguel Montero. You remember his big knock earlier in the playoffs against the Dodgers. He squirts that one the other way, and the Cubs lead 8-6. So Chapman, who was distraught after the lead had been blown on his watch, and the rest of the guys go crazy, but they weren't able to tack on anymore. They had a couple of chances there with only one out. It's still 8-6. Carl Edwards, of course. It's Carl Edwards on to close things out. One away. But after a walk to Geyer, Edwards and Montero meet on the mound to discuss how to pitch to Davis. The home run hitting hero wasn't done. Still more magic in that bat. Stings it up the middle. Here comes Geyer, and it's 8-7. Which means that now the Indians will bring the game-winning and World Series-winning run to the plate. Mike Montgomery never saved a game, comes in to face Michael Martinez, the two guys that certainly you thought would be meeting in the bottom of the 10th in Game 7 of the World Series, a ground ball. Bryant, looks like he slips on the throw, but it's across the diamond into Rizzo's glove and then into his back pocket. You're going to have to fight that big guy to get the ball away from him. And it's all over. All the years, all the waiting, all the wait till next year's. Next year is 2016. Theo, what a legend that guy is. You kidding me? Ends the curse in Boston, ends the curse in Chicago. Bill Murray and Chicago celebrate. And Chris Bryant's there on your screen.